Hello and welcome to Rise Unwind. My name is Dan. You know, each and every week I try to talk to people from across the country about things you could do in your neighborhood. And on this week's show, we got this.
They're not just watching the Hallmark movies, they live them. So you feel it.
It's intense. You know, you get close with a lot of people. And that can, you know, it's like I said, for me, it was actually a really emotional experience.
All of that and more right here in Rise Unwind. When you think about service and sacrifice, rural America shows up in a big way. Nearly half of our military recruits come from small towns where patriotism runs deep and neighbors show up for each other. Tractor Supply is honoring that spirit with their Hometown Heroes initiative, celebrating veterans, first responders, and everyday people doing good in their communities. So joining us from Nashville are Marty Jordan from the Tractor Supply Foundation, U.S. Navy veteran Dan Clavel, alongside his service dog in training, Scarlett, and Jen Stout, a Tractor Supply team member, being honored for her work in Hendersonville, North Carolina. Welcome all three and I guess all four of you.
Yes, Scarlett being the star of the show.
All right. I'm down with that. Hey, Marty, you got to give us the big picture. What is the Hometown Heroes Project all about? You
know, it's an initiative we kicked off last year, and we just celebrated again the 1-year anniversary with $1 million donation that goes split amongst 10 charities. So each of them getting $100,000. Some of those charities are Folds of Honor that gives scholarships to Children of the Fallen, Team Rubicon, Farmer Veterans Organization, National Volunteer Fire Council, 9/11 Day, and also Canines for Warriors, who's here with us in the studio today. Just an excellent organization. Also, we identify hometown heroes, folks like Jen, who work in our stores, who may have served in the military, may have served as a first responder, and are doing great work in communities all over the country where we have our stores. And in addition to that, we have hometown heroes that if you are a first responder, a veteran, or a military service member, you can get extra points and discounts through Tractor Supply.
So why does this mission resonate so strongly with Tractor Supply and their customers?
You know, you think about the fabric of our country, and a good portion of folks that come from rural America come from small towns, their farms. They go off and they serve in the military for many years, and then they come back to run that family farm or stay in that small town. And so those are our customers, those are our friends, those are our team members, and we want to say thank you. We see you, we support you. We want to serve in a way that we can by doing that $1 million donation, by identifying those hometown heroes and letting them give a donation, and then by also giving extra points and value to the folks who are our customers.
And Dan, you got to tell us about Scarlett. What kind of difference will she make in a veteran's life?
Yeah, so Canines for Warriors, so proud to say that a majority of our dogs do come from rescues. So we're pulling these dogs from these local shelters and rescues, and we're providing the training they need to pay it forward and to help these warriors acclimate back into life. We're saving 2 lives at the end of the leash. We're giving them the training to walk into stores like Tractor Supply, give the confidence that these warriors need to, you know, just simply shop again and not worry about what's behind them, what's around them, that hypervigilance that they suffer from. They're able to, you know, shop with ease, and we're able to do it at no cost to these veterans, thanks to support from Tractor Supply and the sponsorship that Scarlett's receiving. She'll be able to save the life in the next few months and, you know, continue to do so.
And Jen, you're being honored as a hometown hero. Congratulations on that. What are you doing in your community that earned you that recognition?
Putting on the red vest for Tractor Supply last year, becoming a store manager has given me the power, as you said, to help my team learn how to be a servant leader. We've been able to go back out into the community, especially with the devastation of Helene, and that hit last year. It hit our store, it hit our team, it hit the community, Buncombe County and other areas. We've partnered with a lot of other areas to help them get healed. We provided food, we provided shelter, we provided food for the community's animals that, you know, in return are a source of income or even food for their families. We also gave propane and so much more to help heal a community that was riddled. Each and every day, we always shake a hand of a first responder that comes through our door. We thank a veteran for their service. Myself being a former Marine, I say "oorah" every time I see a Marine come through my door. Those little things make a big impact each and every day in a first responder and a veteran's life, whether it's been current or active. And I just ask that each and everybody continue to do that and help me and help my team serve even more.
And Marty, tell us about the Neighbors Club and how it helps support heroes year round.
Neighbors Club is our point system, and it's a way that everybody can save. But if you're a hometown hero, that first responder, a veteran, a current serving military member, put down that you are a hometown hero and you will get extra discounts, extra points, preferred plus. So you can get free delivery, free same day delivery. In addition to that, 3 times a year, Veterans Day, 4th of July, First Responders Day, we give you a 10% discount. We also give numerous coupons throughout the year. Gifts recognition is our way of saying, thank you for your courage, your sacrifice, and your service.
And also, where can we go for more information, Marty?
It's pretty simple. Go to tractorsupply.com/hometown heroes. All the information is there, and that's where you sign up.
And thank you, for showing up today.
Thank you.
Millions of travelers will head out on cruises this summer, many leaving from Florida ports, including right here near Orlando. But as soon as that ship sails, your regular cell signal drops off. So how do you stay connected at sea? Joining us today is Pramod Arora, President and CEO of Wireless Maritime Services, to share smart travel tips for cruise connectivity. Welcome, Pramod.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for having me.
What's something cruise travelers often forget when they're getting ready for their trip?
Yeah, connectivity is one thing that people tend to either get confused about or forget. So that's one thing I would suggest that everyone plans ahead for before they get on the cruise ship.
Can you walk us through your top 3 connectivity tips while cruising?
Absolutely. Yeah. So as I said, the first thing I would say is plan ahead. Don't wait until the last moment, last day or week of the cruise to figure out how you're going to stay connected. There's different ways to do that. The second thing I would say is figure out what exactly your needs are for connectivity and find the right solution. We have a website, cellularatc.com, that's designed to help people make that decision. You can, of course, go to your carrier's website as well, but cellularatc.com tells you exactly what you need and actually takes you to those websites to make those decisions or purchases. And you can do that today. You don't have to wait. You won't be charged for anything until you're on the cruise ship using your phone. So there's nothing stopping you from adding that feature on your phone today. And then last thing I would say is when you're on the ship and using your phone, make sure it's not in airplane mode. There's a lot of misconception, a lot of messaging out there to turn your phone into airplane mode when you get on a cruise ship. It's not a plane. You don't have to do that. And it'll actually get in the way of using your phone, especially if you want to use cellular connectivity. So those will be the 3 things I would ask you to remember as you plan your cruise.
Why is it so important to understand your data needs ahead of time?
Yeah, that's a great question. As I was saying earlier, different people have different needs, and that's something we try to help people through. So I'll use my own family as an example. When I go with my family, my needs are limited to emails, calls, maybe conference calls, some browsing, some text messages, and some applications like banking or medical. My kids, on the other hand, they have very heavy data needs, like streaming videos. They want to watch movies all day long or stay on social media with their own video-centric applications. So for them, a cruise ship Wi-Fi might be a great option. So those are the things that you can kind of get out of the way early on in your planning process. And like I said, cellularatc.com, if you tell the website just basic information, your phone number, where you're going, what your needs are, it'll tell you Wi-Fi is better for you or cellular is better for you. And if the cellular is better for you, there are great products out there, and that website will actually direct you to those carriers in order so that you can go ahead and make those right decisions.
And what should travelers know about pricing, especially those using Verizon or AT&T?
Yeah, so those are 2 great options that we have worked on in partnership with AT&T and Verizon just in the recent months and couple of years. So if you're an AT&T subscriber, you probably are already aware of the International Day Pass. For $12 a day, you can use your phone in hundreds of countries. For $8 more, so $20 total, you can extend that connectivity to cruise ships now. So it's a great value for money for you. It's probably the best value out there for cellular products on cruise ships in the world. Verizon, similarly, $20 a day. That's on top of any other roaming charges that you might have for international travel, but it's still $20 for cruise ship connectivity. So great value compared to the way things used to be in the previous years. So our goal is to provide affordable, predictable, and seamless connectivity. And I think for AT&T and Verizon subscribers, which are majority of cruisers out there, U.S. Sends more cruisers than any other country in the world. So we have solved that problem for a majority of users, and I'm very proud of what we have accomplished in partnership with these carriers.
Where can folks go to plan their connectivity before boarding?
So you can always have the option of going to your carrier's website or app. But I would say a great way to start planning is go to cellular@sea.com. And like I said, if the right way for you is to go through your carrier, the website will direct you to do so. It's very user-friendly, and it will take less than 2 minutes.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Pramod.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for having me.
The greatest job in the world must be what our next guests have. Just imagine traveling to any city in the world, sitting down, finding food, finding cultures, and just hanging out with some good people. And that's what, the chef of love, Mr. Jernard Wells, does for a living. So let's chat with this cat right now. Hey, Chef Jernard, how are you, my friend?
I am feeling good. I want to tell you, I love that paisley shirt. You're rocking it.
Thank you. I think this is the only shirt, the second shirt that I own. So thank you. That is it. Oh, you have the ultimate job. You travel from city to city. You talk to people that you love. You eat the foods that you love. You do things that you love. No wonder why they call you the chef of love. But come on, man. Tell us about the new show, Savor the City.
Yes, Savor the City is my way of sharing love with the world. Now, I said, no more waiting until people are gone to give them their flowers. I said, let's give them their flowers now while they're still here and they can smell them and know how great they are to us, what they mean to the culture. And I think it's so important that others learn and see what amazing gems that we have right at our back doors sometime, at our front doors, the local bakery, the local restaurant, the mom and pop. Let's go and sow into them some of the best food, the history, the culture, the travel. And I'm using the dinner plate to connect us because food is what ultimately connects us all.
And when you're traveling, is there anything that really surprised you? Like maybe some ingredient, maybe something that you realized in a culture that you just didn't get used to or just learned along your travels?
One of the biggest things that surprised me out of all things, I was eating at an amazing restaurant, and this particular restaurant served me shark. It was my first time experiencing shark, and seeing that shark actually tastes like pork chops. Most people say, "Oh, all these different dishes, what it tastes like chicken." No, the shark actually tastes like a sweet, juicy pork chop, which was really amazing, but surprised me because at first I was like, I don't know if I want to venture here. But this is the thing. I want to bring the best to my people. If you're afraid to try it, if you're afraid to travel there, you hadn't experienced it yet, let me be your personal tour guide. I'm going to take you through it. I'm going to share what the food tastes like, give you play-by-play experiences, as well as take you on a journey that you wouldn't get no other way other than joining me on Savor the City.
Chef Jernard, we have you on our show all the time, and we want to say congratulations on your big show.
Right.
Check out Chef Jernard Wells every Thursday night on TV1 for Savor the City at 8 p.m. 7 Central. Thanks again, man, for joining me this morning.
Thank you.
Small businesses keep our neighborhoods running, and right now they've got their eyes on growth. Despite recent challenges, new research shows that nearly 90% of small business owners feel confident about what's ahead. So how are they doing it? From mobile apps to savvy spending with credit card rewards, today's business owners are getting creative. Here to break it all down are Sheena Ashley, president of Capital One Insight Center, and Justin Richardson, CEO of Pacific Transformer. Great to have you here with us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks, Chris.
Your new survey shows a lot of optimism, but also big challenges. What are some key takeaways?
The big takeaways from our recent survey of small business owners, as you said, Chris, really found the high levels of optimism for the year ahead, even though small business owners have faced some difficulties with uncertainty. We see them being really optimistic about the opportunities that they have to continue to grow their businesses, and that many are turning to digital tools as the toolbox that they're utilizing to find that pathway ahead.
And let's talk about those tools. What digital solutions are helping owners save money and stay flexible?
Yeah, we found business owners are turning to things like their mobile banking apps, that they're looking at business credit cards, and even accounting software as some of the top tools that they're choosing. Chris, we found that there's a lot out there that business owners could be using, but they're being very discerning and finding those tools that are really helping them crowd out that financial flexibility and manage their cash flow. And those are the kind of tools that are rising to the top to be able to help those small business owners.
The use of credit card rewards jumped out to me. How are small businesses using them to grow?
Yeah, small business owners are finding the use of their credit card, having this additional bonus that you get nowadays with some rewards. And we found that small business owners are using them to do things like invest in additional inventory, purchase equipment, and many are using it for employee recognition.
Any real world examples of someone doing this in a clever or unexpected way?
Yeah, I'll bring in Justin, our real world entrepreneur, to go ahead and provide some examples of that.
Thanks, Sheena. Yeah, no, we're lucky. Having been around for 45 years, we have people who are here for 20, 30, and we have two gentlemen who are celebrating their 40th anniversary here at Pacific. And so we're lucky to have that culture of family. And so we use those cashback rewards in order to reinvest into our employees, whether that's something as small as paying for a Mother's Day brunch for the office or something more significant like footing the bill for a funeral for a colleague's family member, something to ease the financial burden. Those little things go a long way in reinforcing that family culture that we have here at Pacific.
If someone watching owns a small business, what's your advice on using rewards effectively?
I would say really make sure you're not letting those rewards sit idle. Use those rewards. They're such a helpful resource to do things like pay vendors, address some of those recurring transactions that the business owner has, manage your employee spending. And again, we keep going back to employee recognition, but it's so important to use those rewards to reward those who are being an integral part of the business's success. And also the business owner could think about rewarding themselves for their hard work as well, Chris.
And for people who want to take a deeper dive, where can they go to read the full survey?
Please visit us at CapitalOne.com where you can search for the Insight Center, or using your favorite search engine, you can look for the Capital One Insight Center. You'll find this study and many others.
Excellent. Well, Sheena, Justin, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
So what happens when you load a cruise ship with Christmas superfans, a few Hallmark heartthrobs, and more fake snow than the Bahamas has ever seen? You get Christmas at Sea, a brand new docuseries that set sail during Hallmark's 13th annual Christmas in July celebration. You know, this four-part series follows real-life fans living out their holiday dreams on the first ever Hallmark Christmas cruise, complete with karaoke, surprise proposals, ATV rides, and maybe a little matchmaking made on the seven seas. Joining us today are three of the stars helping to make all that happen: Taylor Cole, Andrew Walker, and Wes Brown. Welcome to the show, you three. How are you?
Great. How are you? How are you? Thanks for having us.
I'm doing okay. I'm not stuck out at sea. It's not Christmas time. All right. I guess you guys are doing better than me. You've all starred in plenty of Hallmark Christmas movies, but this time you're on a real-life cruise with real-life super fans. What made Christmas at Sea feel a little different?
This was a fan interaction that we have never got to experience. The level of connection and emotion and genuine storytelling and sharing with each other was unlike anything we've ever experienced. So to get the chance to document it was awesome. And I'm just glad that we got to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And there's some really personal moments in the series, like a surprise proposal. I don't want to give it all away. Maybe a script pitch or two, a couple of grandmas celebrating their grandson. Was there any particular story that stuck with you?
Well, I think the people going through some health issues, obviously, because that's that's pretty extreme. It's life or death, and they've come out on the other end. And I think that and it's made them want to do something momentous in their life. Make a decision that they've always wanted to do, but they never really thought was the right time. And so I think some of those stories, and there was a few within the 5 storylines, those were the ones that really impacted me, I think, the most. Yeah.
And we hear there was a Finding Mr. Shipmas competition and pretty much a full-on Christmas tree lighting ceremony. What were the most memorable cruise events to let's just say, for each of you?
I mean, this is for sure by far the most memorable cruise I've ever taken in my life. And I think the most impactful or memorable moment for me was just walking out on stage at the celebration, the initial reveal of all of the talent, and to see what kind of reaction we got when we walked out on stage was incredibly breathtaking. I've never had that kind of feeling like a rock star. I felt like
so much joy, so much love. It was overwhelming. It really was beautiful.
For me, it was towards the end of the cruise. We worked with a lot of talented actors. Here are 2 of them right there, but we had a part where we did a complete ad lib where we had one of our writers write about a 7-page, it was almost like a poem, and I got to read it, and then our actors got to act it out in front of a huge live audience. And that was just, I barely got through it because I was trying to watch them do their thing. But there was so much stuff. And that's just one of them. That's just one of many. And I think the fans just absolutely loved it.
Andrew, you and Paul helped someone plan a proposal at sea. How did you guys manage to hold together with all those emotions and everything else going around?
Well, that was one of the storylines that I was talking about. She'd gone through a major surgery and came out on the other end. So it was, it was so, we were so vulnerable, it was such a vulnerable moment for all of us. And I think that's the beauty of a lot of these storylines, is that you're seeing real, genuine emotion. This isn't scripted. This is happening in the moment. And I think that we were caught off guard with how emotional it made us feel and tap into, things that we haven't felt in a long time. So to feel that empathy, for what these people have gone through, and to support them along the way, and to maybe fulfill a dream that they've had or something they've always wanted to do, they just didn't have the right forum to do it in, was incredibly rewarding and humbling.
And Hallmark fans are really a loyal group. My mom is one of them. And this docuseries kind of shows the connection between stars and their audience. And what did it mean to kind of celebrate that bond, especially in such an over-the-top, maybe silly, joyful way?
I mean, when you watch a Christmas Hallmark movie, it brings all of the feelings, all of the love, all of the joy. And really, they're not just watching the Hallmark movies, they live them. So you feel it in person. So it's beautiful.
All right, thank you, 30, for joining me this morning. Don't miss Christmas at Sea. It's a 4-part docuseries that's coming into your home this summer. It premieres July 7th at 8 p.m. Eastern on Hallmark Channel, and it streams the next day on Hallmark Plus. Perfect for anyone who thinks Christmas could happen or should happen more than once a year. Hey, thank you, 3, for joining me this morning.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Have a great day.
You ever wonder what it's like to travel across Europe without knowing where you actually are? It's kind of a weird question. NBC's Destination X drops blindfolded contestants into a high-stakes, high-confusion game of trust, strategy, and pretty much pure guesswork. Joining me today is Peter Weber. Yep, Pilot Pete himself, who's no stranger to reality TV drama after The Bachelor and The Traitors. Now he's trading roses for riddles on the ultimate geo-guessing game board. Welcome to the show, Peter. How are you?
I'm so good, man. It's so good to be here with you. Super stoked to have this whole adventure play out.
All right, you've been through The Bachelor, The Traitors, and now it's Destination X. Like, what made you say yes to hopping on a bus with strangers that have zero GPS?
I think very blessed. A lot of the opportunities I've had, but I think this was the one that I think I was made for the most. The second I heard about this, it was an immediate yes for me. Just the nature of me, my career, obviously, and the passion I've always had for traveling and seeing this world. This was just the most insane experience. And I can truly say it was the greatest thing I've ever done in my entire life. The most rewarding, the most beautiful experience, the most difficult experience as well. It was like I said, an immediate yes, and so stoked that I did it.
So what makes you say that it's the greatest experience that you've ever done?
There were so many moments throughout this game that I truly, again, your senses are deprived, right? So when you are out and about and you actually have, your mask off, you're not in the bus. It's moments that you have to take extreme advantage of. And there was just a bunch of those where I remember looking around and like, it almost like gets me like emotional talking about it. Cause it was one of the most beautiful, sceneries that I've ever encountered. And like the things that we get to do in these places, you could never imagine it, in your wildest dreams. So, being able to just check off a lot of the locations, that I haven't been to, some that I had been to, but some that I hadn't as well, was incredible. And just a lot of just awe moments, just epic is, I think, the best way to describe it. And it's going to be really cool to watch it back.
And with your aviation background, you probably know your way around like a map, probably better than most of the people. Did that give you an edge, or did the game, just how they have the rules, just throw you off?
Well, what map are you talking about? We didn't get any maps on this. That was, it would have been nice to have that. No, listen, I did a little bit of prep, obviously, and tried to dig into my toolbox, just from experience of flying. It came into play a little bit. I would say, the times that it did help me, I tried to, use some like celestial navigation for trying to pinpoint at least my latitude of where I was in Europe. But again, with that, you have to have clear skies, you have to be able to be outside at night, and you have to be able to, have a shot at the North Star. So it wasn't always available. There was a couple times where I was able to recognize some departure corridors from airplanes taking off in places I had been, which was very lucky on my behalf. But I was fortunate enough to be able to take advantage of that. Other than that, though, it was a lot of alliances, and it was a lot of just being as observant as possible, and just trying to decipher what's true and what's not. Because the whole thing about this game is, yes, you're getting information, but it's not always accurate, and so you don't know if it's throwing you off, if it's a red herring, or if it's actually leading you to the correct destination. So just the ultimate guessing game. I tried to use my skills as best I could, and it was a blast.
You say it's a guessing game. You say it's about alliances. What about the mind games and like the survival? How did you approach the strategy side of all this?
Ton of strategy. Listen, ton of betrayal. That's the nature of this game. You can work with someone, so long, right? But at the end, there can only be one winner. It's not like, traders. It was a little bit different of a format where you could work as a group and win as a group. Well, here it turns that on its head. So at some point, betrayal will happen, and it's intense. You get close with a lot of people, and that can, it's like I said, for me, it was actually a really emotional experience. It really was, and I wasn't quite expecting that, but just from the awe factor of it and being able to see so many unique parts of this beautiful world to the personal, relationship aspect of it too, and putting trust in someone, and then either having to break that trust or have that trust broken with you. It's a tough thing to navigate. So definitely have to have some mental fortitude to make it in this game and be successful. And I would say, the majority, if not all the players, definitely had that. The casting did a great job of picking the right players.
Peter Weber, thanks for joining me this morning. Catch Peter Weber and the rest of the crew every Tuesday night at 10 Eastern on NBC, and stream the episodes the very next day on Peacock. Thanks for joining me this morning, Peter.
Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
That's it for Rise Unwind. I want to thank you for tuning in and checking out the show. Follow us on YouTube at Rise Unwind TV. And until next week, that was Rise and Unwind.